All right, so this saber technique video is called Zero Twist Wrist Setters. Now I'm going to explain that. So what you're going to do is you're going to flip it over to the heavy end of the saber, because when you're working on your form and your technique, it's good to use the heavy end. So what you're going to do, take your saber. What you're working on here is what I call zero roll, or zero barrel roll. Right? This is a rolling of the wrists. One of the most misquoted words in the game of golf is release. This is not a release. Okay? Release means to let go. So when you're letting go of energy, you're releasing energy. So it's completely different than a rollover. I don't want you rolling the club face, because what happens is as you roll it, you're manipulating that face. So if you're a slicer, don't try to roll it through there. Actually hinge it, release it, and re-hinge it. Now yes, it does make your forearms and wrists move the correct way, and it does resemble a roll, but what happens for most players, if they've been taught to roll their hands over, is on the follow-through side, when they go from here, blue stripe up, and they're supposed to be right there at blue stripe up, and they've worked on rolling, that club face is closing extremely quickly. And then what typically happens is they do it in the backswing. So instead of going back and actually hinging off that stripe this way, they tend to go back and roll it out. And then the club gets in what's called a laid off position. So when you roll out, you lay it off, and when you roll it over, you hook it. So from this angle, you can see the black side of that saber. You shouldn't. You should see that blue stripe. So when you're setting your wrists correctly, you're working on good technique, that's a major design feature of the square saber, because when you go back, you're actually learning to hinge properly into the backswing, and then as you go through, you're learning to hinge symmetrically correctly on the follow through.